tell, we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to take a look at some of the sights and scenic outlooks along the San Andreas Fault. We're going to start our project today at Blue Cut. You see that cliff, that little split in the rock up there? That's Blue Cut. That's where the San Andreas Fault splits that mountaintop. Hurtling down the old Route 66, you can see the traffic up above all along the freeway. As we turn up to Junction I-15, this old Route 66 turns into Cleghorn Road. Cleghorn Road is a favorite for off-road vehicle enthusiasts to drive over the mountain and over into Silverwood Lake. It's kind of a rough road, but they seem to enjoy it. Here we are coming up to I-15. You can see all the pickups with the off-road trailers, off-road vehicle trailers, because they're out playing, having a good time. Junctioning in Interstate 15. Just past the weigh scales up here on the right is going to be our exit onto 138. Palmdale Silverwood Lake exit, next right. The original course of travel I planned out was to go left at this junction, but we're going to go right because there's a little something I want to show you. This little frontage road doesn't go really anywhere except access to the local Chevron station and the McDonald's. But if you keep on going down, all the way down to the back of the scales, you come up with a little surprise. There it is, the road markers. So our first marker here commemorates the Salt Lake Trail. And this is back in 1849 when people were traveling from Redlands and San Bernardino to Utah. The next monument is Camp Cajon. This commemorates the little railroad station and settlement just on the other side of the freeway. where you would go out and put sticks in the ground and flags a mile down the track to signal the train to stop so it can pick up passengers. We're back on 138 heading west. You can see up above all the mountains up there. There's still the snow in the high country. You'll see a little white outcropping. That is the old stamp mill where they'd bring ore down Lone Pine Canyon and process it here before they load it on the train. And on the other side of the street, you can see the Mormon rocks. We're going to stop and get a better look at those. Mormon rocks, right along Highway 138, are sandstone structures that were part of an upthrust from a seismic event over 200 years ago. There were no eyewitness accounts, but it is rumored that this entire uplift took less than 10 seconds. Proceeding west on 138, we're coming up to another roadside marker that we'll stop and take a look at. Coming up to our next marker now. Plaque reads, June 1851, 500 Mormon pioneers came through this pass to enter the San Bernardino Valley, where they colonize and establish a prosperous community. And that was erected by the Sons of Mormon pioneers, May 1937. Backtracking a little bit, we're going to go back down towards Mormon Rocks because remember, this is going to be the earthquake trail. So we're going to get on over across Lone Pine Canyon to where the San Andreas Fault comes right up Lone Pine Canyon. We're now on Lone Pine Canyon. The San Andreas Fault follows straight up this canyon all the way up over the top and into the little small community of Brightwood. As we ascend up the canyon, you'll notice on the right-hand side are several abandoned mining sites. This is hard rock mining. Those are tunnels bored into the hill, and you can see the ore tracks coming out from them. quite scenic little canyon. You can see there's still snow way up on top of the ridge up there. And we've got more mine activity on the right-hand side. On our left, coming up, is the famous Clyde's Ranch. Back when Model Ts and As came up and down this road, they would stop at this little gas station down here to fill up with water or cool their brakes. It's been rumored that more people stopped on the way down to cool their brakes than there was of people going up the hill. If you notice the geology of this neighborhood, the mountains all range east and west, except for this one toe we're coming up to here. You'll see it on the right hand side. Well, to the untrained eye, it just looks like a normal hill, but in actuality, that's tailings from the local mines along the right-hand side of the road coming up here. I'd love to get back down over here and take a look at that tailings mound with my metal detector and see if they left anything. I'm not really sure what they were mining down here, but it'd be kind of interesting to see what they've left. Now, along this road, there was originally an electronic railroad that would haul ore from this quarry up here on the right-hand side where you'll see the white rock, all the way down to the stamping plant down at 138 and where the railroad is. See, there's the quarry there. So, on the uphill run, they would bring supplies and people to Wrightwood, and on the downhill run, they'd bring ore. And there's the quarry. Reaching the top of Lone Pine Canyon, you can see the startings of the little community of Wrightwood. Now, Wrightwood started out as a cattle and apple ranch. They also had processed pears. Then, in the early 19th century, the ranch went bankrupt and was purchased out of bankruptcy by the attorney handling the bankruptcy, and that was Judge Lloyd Nix. Now, we're still on the earthquake trail. In fact, we're smack dab on top of the San Andreas Fault at this time. Here's the Heath Creek Wash. And the Sheep Creek Wash. Is you can have huge mountain manors built right next to little weekend cabins, and neither one is affected by the other one's presence. One of the tells of where the earthquake fault is sag ponds, or little lakes that pop up because the water draining out of the upward slope has no place to go once it hits the fault. This is one of those sag ponds that's been commercialized and used as the local country club. Originally, the country club, or the Wrightwood Country Club, was known as Twin Lakes because they had the lake here and they had another lake up above it. They've since filled that in and now just maintain the swimming lake here. I was talking earlier about mountain mansions. Well, here's an example of that up here on the left. And then right next to it, a more modest home. This is the local Catholic Church, still providing services today. And just next to that is a little area called Wright's Lake. Wright's Lake was filled in when they increased the size of the local elementary school and didn't know what to do with all that dirt. So they brought it up and they filled out this lake here. Now, no tour of Wrightwood could possibly say it's complete without visiting the downtown district of Wrightwood, and that's what's coming up next. Coming into downtown Wrightwood. Fun thing about Wrightwood along Highway 2 here, there's only one stop sign. So in heavy ski traffic, the local CHP comes down and directs traffic. Here it is, main drag Wrightwood. All of 2 blocks long. That is the local fire station, which has now been converted to the Wrightwood Museum. In fact, a lot of the facts and information I got for this video were benefited from going to that museum and seeing what's going on. The local 2-pump gas station here in Wrightwood used to be the old 76. While I was sitting here getting gas, I noticed people going up and down these stairs and returning with little jars in their hands. So I had to find out what was going on. Wrightwood's 2 major geological areas show the mudslide. That's Sheep Creek, and on to the left of that is the Heath Creek slide. It was thought that these slide areas were created first by overlogging, which left no vegetation to hold the earth, and secondly by hydraulic mining. Both of those informations were false. And the real cause of these slides is because of the San Andreas Fault coming directly through it. Now, looking over the building across Highway 2, I went over there and to find out why people kept on going up and down the stairs. And there was a little gentleman over there who looks like he just walked out of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou movie with whole basket full of jars, mason jars, with white liquid in it. Not white, but clear liquid in it. So I stopped and talked to him for a while, and he divulged to me that this was moonshine, that he distilled liquor, illegally of course, and would sell it to the locals for $15 a jar. Well, I had to buy one, didn't taste it. He said it was 100 proof, and boy, I tell you, from tasting it, I certainly was. After he sold out of all of his stock for that day, he looked at me and said, "Hey, have you ever seen an operating still?" I said no. So he blindfolded me, wrapped me up, and took me out to where his still was, and here's a picture of it. Pretty impressive for a little backwoods entrepreneur, but I think he's supplementing his Social Security income fairly well. Alright, let's go on up Highway 2. There's a better view of the little 2-pump gas station in Wrightwood. Used to be the old 76 station. In fact, my research told me that Wrightwood once had 3 gas stations in town. The 76, a Mobil, and a Chevron. passing by the elementary school, you can see where they took all the earth out of this dig, and that's all what went into Wright's Lake. We're going up to the old apple orchard. You can see it's all been subdivided, but there's still a few apple trees left. And they produce good apples every year. Some people trim their apple trees in order to increase production. Other people just let it go feral. Proceeding up Highway 2 headed west, up towards the ski areas. Right now we're still in San Bernardino County, but soon we're going to be crossing over the county line into Los Angeles County. There's the Mormon Church, right next to the local Baptist church. Here we are coming over to Los Angeles County. Now the San Andreas Fault is now on our left-hand side, out in that little gully over there, and that proceeds up the canyon, and we're paralleling it. Part of the feature of going up Highway 2 is this large clump of brush just east of Mountain High East. That is all choke cherries, and as you may know, choke cherries need an awful lot of water. The first ski area we hit is Mountain High East. As you can see, they've got the lower runs open. People are out enjoying their weekend. Mountain High East was formerly known as Holiday Hill. Continuing up Highway 2, we're coming upon the old Ranger Station. This is in Big Pine, not to be conferred with or mistaken for the Big Pine in Yolo County, but this is Big Pine Ranger Station in LA County. You can see all the cones out. That's for Mountain High ski area, Mountain High West. And there is the Ranger Station. Now, we have a choice. We have 4 different ways of going. We're going to go uphill. This is the road to Table Mountain or Ski Sunrise. I'll tell you more as we get up the road. Well, we've hit snow along the side of the road. And we're coming through a little outcropping of homes called McClellan Flats. Just as we pass McClellan Flats, there's a turnout. We're going to stop and take a look. Across the valley, we can see the ski slopes of Mountain High West. Then if we looking across the canyon, you can see Mountain High East. And if you follow down the canyon, remember that's where the San Andreas Fault goes all the way up through Mountain High East and West. Big Pines. We've now reached the big parking lot at Mountain High. Excuse me, not Mountain High. This is Ski Sunrise, formerly known as Table Mountain. If we continued up this road past the Do Not Enter sign, that would take us to the JPL Observatory, which has been converted from ocular telescopes to all now radial telescopes. Sunrise or Table Mountain is unlike any other ski area in Southern California in that you start at the top and ski down and take the lift back up. You can see off in the distance, that's the Mojave Desert. Looking across the valley, that large mountain over there is Mount Baden-Powell. More on that in a moment. Descending from Ski Sunrise or Table Mountain, we're coming back to 4 Points here at Big Pines. As you can see the ranger station there on our left. At this point we're going to make a hard right and go down towards Palmdale and Jackson Lake. Again, we're following the San Andreas Fault, which is to our left as we descend. As we proceed down the road, you'll see to our left, nice edge of a ridge that falls off into the San Andreas Fault Zone. Now that we've descended down the canyon a ways, we can stop and look back up the fault as it crosses the road. We've reached the last in our journey, the last sag pond, or lake, This is Jackson Lake. Jackson was the engineer who put N4, N6, the road we're on, through this area, creating a dam to hold back the water in the lake. They stock this lake every year with trout, bluegill, and crappie. During the winter, as you can see, our side of the lake is snowed in. And being so close to a major metropolitan area, we have snow players that come up and slide down that hill, across the ice, and into the lake and drown. Kind of tragic, but when you're in beautiful Southern California, you don't really recognize the danger. Proceeding back up N4, N6, you can see at just about every little turn on the road, there's either a camp or a campsite for which you can enjoy the wilderness of the San Gabriel Mountains. There's some campers now. You can see they pitched tents. I don't know, I still prefer my RV to sleeping in a tent. Back up N4, N6 gives you a different view of that nice edge into the fault zone. Pretty scary, huh? As we crest the top of the hill, we're back at Big Pines. Across the road is the entrance to Mountain High. To our left is the ranger station, and we're going to go to the right towards Pasadena. Now the sign said the road was closed, but we'll see how far we can get up here. If you do decide to come up to this area, it's always wise to stop at either the local mini mart in town, the old 76 station, local gas station, to get an adventure. It's always smart to stop at the local gas station to get an adventure pass. It costs you $5 for the day, or you can buy a year-long pass. But if they catch you up here without the pass, they fine you. What's the fine? Well, $5. Now we're approaching one of the more scenic areas of our trip. This is called Inspiration Point. It gives you, on a clear day, the ability to look out and even see Catalina Island. Looking out across the valley, that's Mount Baden-Powell, named after the founder of the Boy Scouts. Apparently, in 1910, he was so appalled at the lack of wood craft, field craft that new recruits had, that he wrote a manual on how to produce all that, and that became the Boy Scouts. His sister Agnes, by the way, is the one who produced the Girl Scouts. That majestic mountain across the valley is Mount Baldy. On the opposite side is Baldy Ski Resort. Cutting across Inspiration Point is the California Riding and Hiking Trail, also known as the Pacific Crest Trail. If you ever want to travel from Mexico to the Canadian border, there's your chance. If you enjoyed the video, great. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time.